Anyway, one thing I do know how to do well is make coconut rice, and I know how to make it from scratch. And one thing you got to get is a coconut, and you can hear the water jiggle in it. So pass that or jiggle it and pass it around.
You could hear it from here.
And so rice, for me, it started the story of my life with rice. Rice was something we had once in a while. It was a very bland sort of side dish with a lot of butter on it. Then I married a fellow from Colombia and went to meet his people. Well, rice there is like potatoes are for us. Potatoes for them are something you throw in the soup, just like rice was up here. And the first thing really homesick Colombians ever did when they got here was learn how to make rice, decent rice. Not this stuff that we make. So I don't know how many years ago it was that I visited my friend from Panama, and she showed me she had grandparents who'd come from Jamaica. And so they she showed me how she made coconut rice. So first of all, the coconut you have to be able to hear this. And if you can't, it means that you're not buying that.
And do you just buy those like right here at the international marketplace?
Well, this one did come from Blaine.
I've not seen coconut.
But yes, you can get them here sometimes. So you can see it's got 3 eyes. And if you mess around a little bit, you'll see that one is a little bit softer than the others. That's the one, and you need a sharp and thin-bladed knife. And you pry open this. So the other thing I learned was that best rice to use, for me, is good old Uncle Ben's. Uncle Ben's does something with the rice that you almost never fail.
Can you go like that and get the hair off your hand?
Yeah. It worked fine at home, let me tell you.
Or the skin. Pressure on the body.
Okay, so it's going to come out slowly. But in the meantime, once you get it going, it'll be all right. You have to open the coconut. But first you have to let the water out. So the other part of it is if you ever want to make coconut oil, fresh, you can do it this way too. Okay, so that's, the first one I did at home just came out perfectly. Second one, because I did a second one. Once you get it open, you pry the meat from the shell, and you might not have noticed that these shells have a mark around them. And I'm pretty sure they do that because so many people wanted to make their own. And you can use a hammer maybe right there and the thing will break apart for you. I didn't want to use a hammer on these brand new tables. Didn't seem to be the best solution. And so
Machete is good.
that's
Yeah.
about,
I
yeah.
don't take off the thumb by mistake. Takes
Okay,
practice.
so it's about as good as it's going to get. So this is how I open them.
Ah, that'll work. Yeah.
That'll work. And
Sounded like it.
Yeah.
if you have a hammer, you can do that too. Ah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just more or less keep on.
There's a rubbery floor.
The tables are still okay.
There we go. Okay,
That
that's better.
sounded good.
So once you've gotten that far, you got your meat, you got it here. You want to put it in the blender. And if you had a hammer, it'd probably go a little easier on you.
So you don't need to take the dark part off the outside of the meat?
You do not. Now, however, I would wash it really well. So no, you don't take it out. You just put it there. And then you do the same with the rest of it. And what you can't get out like this, you use this sharp little knife to pry out. And it will generally, if you're lucky, it will come out. So that's how you start with it. And I assume somebody's coming in to wipe this up on Wednesday.
And they'll be going, I wonder what they did in here.
So you add that to you put it all in a blender, and you add about 4 cups of warm water. Turn the blender on, and you want it to be ground up about this fine. And I can pass that around too. And then you strain it. You strain it into a bowl, or best yet, you strain it into a big measuring cup. That's the best, because then you can see how much you've got. So you strain it into that, and you squeeze out all the pulp, and that's what you're left with, is pulp like that. And it tastes like nothing. It's all the goodness has been squeezed or drained out of it. You set it in the refrigerator, and all the cream will come to the top. And this is the cream, so just pass it around carefully.
Great care.
Nobody
So
spilled.
that's the coconut oil on top there?
That's the coconut cream on top, the coconut oil.
So that's what you strained out.
That's what I strained out. And it's in the
And the
refrigerator.
So this is what all of that came out of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and there was more.
Yes.
So, this you can throw on the garden, whatever you like, but it doesn't have much taste left to it since it's been liquidized and all that. So, you strain that out, and you put it in the refrigerator, and when the top is good and firm, you can take all that fat off in a pretty clean way, and put it in a big saucepan. Just the cream. And with the cream, you heat it on like medium high.
Oh, my goodness.
It's going to get hotter and hotter and bubble. What's going to happen is the oil and the solids are going to separate. And it's going to look like little white crumbs. And the oil. And when you get that far, you go a little bit further. Not too much further until all those crumbs, I'll take that from you, dear. All those crumbs are going to turn brown. And when they turn brown, they look like this. And you can sniff it. That smells like really good coconut. So now you've got the oil separated, you've got the crumbs of it, the solids have all browned. Now you add the water, salt, a little bit of sugar because it's coconut, and the rest of the liquid that you had. And if you had saved this liquid, you can add that or you can drink it. It's a good liquid to drink. It's coconut water. So it's you bring it to a boil, like with all rice, but you stir it because you put sugar in there and you don't want the sugar part to burn, and that'll can happen fast. Put the lid on, turn it on low, and ta-da! Wait 20 minutes and you've got coconut rice.
Wow.
You can vary this with, I usually make it using kidney beans that you've drained. Now if you want to do things the old-fashioned way, you can cook up the kidney beans from dried beans. You can add hot spicy stuff to it, whatever. It's a very accommodating recipe. So it just depends. And I have a bunch of it over there.
Whoa, those do sound good.
So when you do the cooking part where those solids are coming out and you're left with...
You're left with the oil and the solids have turned brown.
So you strain off the solids?
No,
No, you leave it all in there?
all in there.
The solids and the...
Yeah, no calories.
Yeah. So the solids end up in the rice?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yes, they do. So.